wasn't my fault. Merdley Gertzen does not always have the best luck. But one day, when an egg drops on his head, he is determined to prove that this time it wasn't his fault. On his journey, he finds 4 suspects. Was it the bird's fault? Was it the aardvark's fault? Was it the pygmy hippo's fault? Or was it the rabbit's fault? This story shows that even though bad things may happen, it is not always the right decision to point fingers and blame others. Let's take a look and read the story. It Wasn't My Fault, written by Helen Lester and illustrated by Lynn Munsinger. Things did not always go well for Merdley Gertzen. He couldn't control the toothpaste, he fell into wastebaskets, and he dropped only valuable vases. Whatever happened, it was usually his fault. One day he went for a walk in his one too big new shoe. He had stepped out of the other one. He couldn't remember where. Before long, someone laid an egg on Merdley Gertzen's head. He looked at a nearby bird. "Did you lay an egg on my head?" he asked. "I did," confessed the bird, "but it wasn't my fault. A horrible aardvark screamed and scared me." So Merdley Gertzen and the bird went to see the aardvark. "Did you scream and scare the bird into laying an egg on Merdley Gertzen's head?" they asked. "I did," confessed the aardvark, "but it wasn't my fault. A nasty pygmy hippo stepped on my tail and a scream just popped out." Together they went to find the pygmy hippo. "Did you step on the aardvark's tail, making him scream and scare the bird into laying an egg on Merdley Gertzen's head?" they asked. "I did," confessed the pygmy hippo, "but it wasn't my fault. I did it by accident when I was getting out of the way of a hopping shoe with long ears." "A what?" they all asked. Just then along came a hopping shoe with long ears. With a pull and a tug, they soon found that the ears were attached to a rabbit. "It wasn't my fault," the rabbit explained. "I was hopping along when I landed in that shoe and became stuck." The shoe looked very much like the new too big shoe Merdley had stepped out of some time ago. In fact, it was. Merdley thought, "The rabbit became stuck in my shoe and frightened the pygmy hippo, who stepped on the aardvark's tail. The aardvark screamed and scared the bird into laying an egg on my head." "Then I suppose it was my fault," Merdley Gertzen said very sadly. 2 tears splashed on his new too big shoes. "There, there," said the pygmy hippo, the rabbit, the bird, and the aardvark. "Don't cry." "It was my fault," said the bird. "It was my fault," said the aardvark. "It was my fault," said the hippo. "I think it was the shoe," said the rabbit. "Let's go back to your house and do something about that egg." They all went into the kitchen. The aardvark turned Merdley Gertzen's upside down, and the egg plopped into the pan. The rabbit ground the pepper, the pygmy hippo added the pinch of salt, the bird ran around and around in the pan, doing a fine job of scrambling. Merdley Gertzen enjoyed every bite of the scrambled eggs. Merdley thanked his friends. He went to the door to let them out, and "It wasn't his fault,"